July 3rd, 1942. Over 1 year has passed since the invasion of the Soviet Union by Nazi Germany. The Red Air Force is attempting to fight back in any way it can by attacking ground targets or fighting its opponent in the air, but their efforts are in vain. And they're unable to establish a foothold in the air and on the ground. In combat, many of their aircraft are obsolete and are easy prey for Germany's two main fighters of the Luftwaffe, the Bf-109E and F variants, and the new Focke-Wulf FW-190A. But there is good news. 1 month ago, the Yak-1B entered production in June 1942. The pilot, Alexander Titov, has decided to dive down on a German Bf-109 below him. But due to the German pilot's maneuver causing an overshoot, Alexander is forced to roll over and commit to another pass, hopefully not encountering the German pilot head-on, which he does as another aircraft comes in, and this time it is not a Bf-109 but an FW-190. But just as quickly as he identified the Bf-109, he switches targets to the FW-190. And he uses his nose-mounted armament to quickly dispatch the FW-190, ripping its wing off. The Yak-1B was powered by one Klimov M105PF inline engine with 1,260 horsepower. Its top speed was 368 miles per hour, with a range of 380 miles and a service ceiling of 32,970 feet. Its armament consisted of one 20mm Setback cannon mounted in the propeller and one 12.7mm Berezin UBS machine gun mounted just behind the propeller. But the Yak-1B's armament is not what it is made out to be, as Alexander soon discovers once he re-engages the Bf-109 he was fighting earlier. Regardless, though, of the armament's capabilities of dealing damage quickly, he does shoot down his target, and the Bf-109's fuselage catches fire, and it eventually crashes into the ground. Now, the Yak-1B's speed and maneuverability at low altitude will be put to the test as Alexander attempts to escape from a pursuing FW-190. Luckily, his maneuvering forces an overshoot, and Alexander moves in it to attempt to get on the FW-190's tail, as they now enter a scissors fight. And eventually, Alexander is able to get on the FW-190's tail. But the FW-190 pilot does not decide to go down without a fight, constantly maneuvering. It takes all of Alexander's skill to stay on his target, but one last burst causes the FW-190 to fall to pieces. Now, in the midst of an intense dogfight, Alexander fires on a BF-109 pilot that passes beneath him, but he misses and is forced to commit to more intense maneuvering, following the BF-109 pilot almost down to the deck in a looping fight. And while Alexander does manage to score some hits, he is unable to bring his target down. And then he realizes he is out of ammunition. As a result, he has to decide whether to continue the fight, which would be pointless, or to break off altogether, which may run the risk of them being pursued and being able to do nothing about it. In the end, though, he decides to break off the fight completely and head to the nearest airfield. Now that he has arrived at the nearest airfield, Alexander comes in for a landing, reducing his throttle, lowering his flaps, and eventually deploying his landing gear. Despite the challenges Alexander faced in his patrol today, nevertheless, one thing still matters. He lived to fight another day.